So I've been living in London on the Uxbridge Road for about 5 years now, ever since I graduated and convinced myself that it was worth living in a crumbling shoebox, balanced on top of a takeaway, with two strangers for 600 quid a month. But I feel like this is my city now. I've done all the tourist stuff, got it out my system, done the Eye, seen a musical, had a stupid amount of brunches, but I've never been to a football game, until now. Zainab is a Muslim, Tory-supporting, pie-eating football fanatic. Her and her dad are so different, but when it comes to QPR, they're inseparable. She's always going on at me. You've lived in Shepherd's Bush for 5 years and you've never seen QPR play. It's like a dagger through my heart. Yeah, she's melodramatic. But I realised I had to go. For the sake of our friendship, for the experience, for the story. Zainab suggests I join her at the next FA Cup game, and it's going to be a big one because they'll be playing Brentford. I realise this is a big deal from the intense eye contact Zainab gives me when she tells me. Anyway, I'm excited. The night before, I looked through my entire wardrobe to find something to wear. Something blue, preferably with a hint of white. I imagine myself as the perfect mascot, with my white hijab and long blue dress. It will be amazing. Just my luck. I have every colour headscarf and dress, peaches, purples, pinks, but I don't have blue. So I settle for all white. A bit much, I know, but I figure it's better than standing out in pink. The next day, I meet up with Zainab and Manal, another friend of ours from uni. They're both kitted up and excited to get into the grounds. But in the rush of getting through the turnstiles, we lose Zainab. We try to spot her, looking for her blue headscarf and striped team kit, Washington 9 proudly on the back. But she blends into the sea of hoops. Manal is also wearing a striped shirt, but she has the advantage of being taller than me and she has experience of the venue. I make it my mission not to lose her. As we climb the stairs of the loft, I take everything in, wishing I had some way of making notes. Look at all these people. Suddenly, my eye is caught by a swarm of red and white. I know they don't have far to come, but I didn't expect this many Brentford fans. I watch my step as we push and shove to find a seat. I have never seen so many drunk people at 3 p.m. in my life. And quite frankly, I don't want to get any vomit on my shoes. As I squeeze through, holding onto Manal for dear life, we turn and we're surprised to see Zainab. She's managed to find herself her seat, jammed in between a group of hardcore fans, and she's leading the chant. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. Oh, Rangers, we love you. Ooh, ah, QPR. I said, ooh, ah, QPR. The crowd is massive. Rising up out of the away stands, the bees are chanting back. If you hate Queen's Park Rangers, clap your hands. If you hate Queen's Park Rangers, clap your hands. If you hate Queen's Park Rangers, hate Queen's Park Rangers, hate Queen's Park Rangers, clap your hands. Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? As we push forward towards our seats, I think, what an interesting cultural phenomenon. I pause again, taking everything in, and try not to pay attention to the smoke, which I hope is from cigarettes and not weed. Suddenly, as I pass, a really big QPR fan who's shirtless and completely drunk starts screaming, yeah! Yeah! He's cheering me on because clearly we're part of the same team. I walk quickly behind Manal as my fan keeps yelling, we love you Rangers! We do! Apart from the large amounts of Carlsberg, the anti-Brentfordism, the second-hand smoking, the fans howling, the first half of the game is not fun. We're 2 goals down and it's half-time. And the sun is clearly setting. I turn to Manal. It's Maghrib time. We need to find somewhere to pray. We head down the steps to the back of the stand. But it's dark and wet and we aren't sure if the wetness is water, beer or puke. We head out towards the turnstiles. And I see a row of police cars parked outside. What about there? Let's pray near the cars. Manal looks at me. Are you crazy? Look at us and look at them. I look. She's right. Next to the police are loads of Brentford fans who didn't get in. It's not the usual fear of Islamophobia that stops us. At this moment, we're more fearful of the anti-QPR bigotry. Manal suggests we find something inside, like a community centre or something, or head back to the Uxbridge Road. Then we see a trailer. There's no one outside. We look at each other. Maybe here, Manal says. Why don't we just go in and ask them if we can pray in here? I look at Manal and think of how I look. I'm wearing a white abaya to match my white headscarf. She's wearing the more traditional football fan wear. Manal, you do the talking, they'll take you more seriously. So we walk in, and my eyes fall on two men in a little room. They're both wearing headphones around their necks and sitting in front of some sort of panel with lots of different buttons and switches and screens in front of them. They look up at us. One man says, "Can we help you?" I push Manal in front of me. You see, we're Muslim and we need to pray. Both of the men look at us curiously. "You need to use the bog." Me and Manal look at each other momentarily, a bit confused. No, you see, we're Muslim and we need to pray. Again, the man asked, "You need to use the bog." We can pray next to the bog. Me and Manal start praying in the corridor. She goes into sajda, and as I am bowing, the man appears. "Holy shit, are you all right?" I'm not sure what prayers I said. I'm not even sure how we ended. But as soon as we finish our third rakat, we stand up immediately and thank the men. "Yeah, no problem. Do what you got to do." We usually get lads in there throwing up. As soon as we exit, I notice a security guard standing outside. Maybe she went on her break before we entered. She is livid. As we try to leave, she stops us. "Excuse me, how did you get in there? Other than employees, no one is allowed in there without a pass." I nudge Manal and give her the "you do the talking, she'll take you more seriously" look. Yes, you see, we're Muslim and we needed to pray. Before the guard even has a chance to respond, I grab Manal's hand and we run. Quickly, we run so fast. We decide to catch a bus to avoid the crowds once the game ends. We find out that QPR scores twice after half-time and ties. Then, out of nowhere, a last-minute goal during injury time. We won, and we completely missed the victory. But I don't think they could have done it without our prayers in the BBC London broadcast van.